over here. Look at me. Do you not remember actually reading that little contract? You may have won that belt last night. Congratulations, by the way. But always remember, read the contract before you sign anything. Because nowhere in that contract says you can take that mask off. So, my lovely little helpers, if they're actually listening to me, get right there, give her that mask, and Leah, put it back on, because I still have the rights to this. Hurry up! Put it back on! You better have it on, hurry up!
Hello everyone and welcome to W3L Wrestling Showdown here on the W3L network. I am Stevie Wizard. Thank you for subscribing, which I assume you have done. I know I say it all the time, so do it and then I won't need to say it again. Now you've just seen some footage from Resolution 10 and the issues that befell Leah Owens in that match. Despite not being in the building, our twin sister and former women's champion Casey Owens certainly made her presence felt. Leah Owens' second women's championship reign lasted 24 hours, something she is not happy with at all. But while she's no doubt due a rematch with the current champion Sarah in the not too distant future, she intends to gain momentum and regain her winning ways. But she may have a difficult task ahead of her here this week on Wrestling Showdown. She's facing a newcomer to W3L, a woman in the form of Little Miss Roxxy. She's never competed for the Worldwide Wrestling League before and wants nothing more than to establish herself from the off by knocking the two-time former women's champion Leah Owens off her perch. Can the newcomer defeat the newly remasked, if you see what I'm saying, Leah Owens? Or will Leah roll over Little Miss Roxxy on her way to regaining the women's championship? Well, let's all find out by going down to ringside.
Introducing first, in the corner to my left, this is Little Miss Roxxy! And in the corner to my right, this is the one and only Leah Owens!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Fordyce here with you on Wrestling Showdown. Women's action for you this week, and we have a newcomer in the form of Little Miss Roxxy in the blonde and pink hair, taking on the highly popular Leah Owens, of course in the mask. And that is much to her chagrin, having to wear the mask. It's been a difficult few weeks for her here in W3L. Of course, the night before Resolution 10, she defeated then women's champion Casey Owens, her twin sister of course, in a no-holds-barred match. A tremendous contest it was as well. Leah Owens won the title to become only the second two-time champion. And look at this, Little Miss Roxxy knocks her right off the ring apron, down from the ropes, having a crash head to the floor. Now, Little Miss Roxxy, this is her first time in W3L and she obviously wants to establish herself. And of course, defeating Leah Owens is definitely going to that. Look at this, is broken down right away. And Little Miss Roxxy wants to establish her dominance over Leah Owens in the early going. And this is like Leah's home territory, if you like. She's been part of W3L for quite a while. Roxxy, this is her first night in, and she has her eyes set on the Women's Championship. And of course, who wouldn't? And what better way to challenge for it than by defeating Leah Owens? Miss Roxxy throttles her on the top rope. As I was saying earlier on, Leah Owens, of course, became a 2-time women's champion the night before Resolution. At Resolution 10 itself, she wrestled Sarah in a one-on-one contest. Sarah won the match, thanks in part to Casey Owens, who appeared on the video screen and basically told Leah that she had to keep wearing the mask. Leah had taken it off after winning the no holds barred match, but that was not part of the terms of the contract in their no holds barred match, so Leah had to put the mask back on, and that threw her off somewhat and allowed Sarah to capitalise and score the victory to become the only 3-time women's champion in history. Now Leah Owens is now back with the mask on. I know she's not happy about it, but she's making the best of it, and she's looking to defeat the debuting Little Miss Roxxy here this week on Wrestling Showdown and get herself back in contention for the women's title. Referee Leon Brown having a difficult job trying to get Roxy back in the ring. She's just wandering around trying to stall. I think she's realised that charging at Leah Owens may not be the best move, because Leah, with more experience than Roxy has, Leah Owens debuted back in 2010, Roxy 2015, so she's had about a year under her belt. And don't be fooled, this is Little Miss Roxxy's first time in W3L, but not her first time in wrestling. She wrestles throughout the northeast of England. She's had some great matches and had a lot of success as well, but of course that doesn't really necessarily help her in challenging for the women's title, as Leah Owens charges and Roxy cuts her off with a kick. Now these two do know each other. They've met twice before. This is Roxy goes for pinfall. Back in April of this year, they were both part of a Rumble match, so their encounter was minimal at best in that one. But in June, Leah Owens actually defeated Little Miss Roxxy, not in W3L, in another organisation. So they've met before, they each know what the other can bring to the table. As Roxy now just throttling Leah Owens. An interesting thing to note is that Little Miss Roxxy also has a twin sister, non-identical, but she is part of a twin, as of course is Leah Owens. And Roxy's really made a name for herself because, in addition to obviously being a professional wrestler, she's a contortionist as well, and she does some fire eating, and is a pole dancer. And if you know anything about pole dancing, that means you have a fantastic core strength. So she is a powerful woman, and of course Leah Owens suffering at the hands, or should that be legs, of Little Miss Roxxy, because Roxy can't afford to take Leah Owens lightly, and indeed vice versa as well, because Owens arguably has more to lose here. I mean, Roxy, she's not, unfortunately anyway, a contender for the women's title as of yet. A victory here would certainly put her in contention, I would think. So I mean, she has it all to do, it has to be said. She puts on that sleeper hold, that chin-lock variant, but things better off it. And she pulling at the hair of Leah Owens and just kicks her squarely in the face. Roxy in for a cover. Only nets her a 2 count, however. And that Leah Owens is still annoyed at herself for losing the women's title, her second reign only lasting about 24 hours. It's a source of annoyment to her. Kick out by Leah Owens, and she desperately wants to prove it was a fluke. Desperately wants to prove that in a straight up one-on-one situation she can overcome the odds and get that title back. And once she floats over Little Miss Roxxy, this could be here. Takes her unawares. And Leah Owens, we've seen this since she put the mask on earlier in the year. It's made her almost more aggressive. She's constantly fighting back. She's less fun at times. She's more busy. Little Miss Roxxy. I thought he was going to charge you in a clothesline or something, but just decided to choke Leah Owens. But she runs right in the kick. And a sunset flip by Leah Owens. Again, Leah Owens knows W3L, knows this ring so well. This is new territory for Little Miss Roxxy. But it has to be said, for all that she's a newcomer to W3L, she's actually dominated the majority of this match. And I wonder if Leah Owens' head isn't quite in the game. Is she thinking about her loss to Sarah at Resolution 10? Is she thinking about her sister, Casey Owens, And the fact to put that mask back on, is she overlooking Little Miss Roxxy? If so, it could be a major mistake. Roxy again going for a cover. She's determined to get the pinfall over Leah Owens here. And yet another cover. Roxy seems determined to get this one over with as soon as she can. And putting the boots to Leah Owens. Oh, Leah Owens reversing that Irish whip. Comes charging in. And Little Miss Roxxy chucks her on the ring apron. But Leah Owens runs her face first in the top turnbuckle pad. But Owens just a little too slow climbing up. And gets body slammed off the top turnbuckle. It's going to slow momentum down. And yet another 2 count. And you notice Leah Owens is wearing her pink mask. She has a different set of colours, of course. I'm told she did this on purpose. Obviously Little Miss Roxxy, you can see she's got a pink streak in her hair. She's got a pink bandana around her foot. I'm told that Leah Owens, hang on, she bridges with the fisherman suplex. Doesn't get it though. I'm told she wore the pink mask in an attempt to slightly throw Little Miss Roxxy off. An attempt to kind of play mind games, if you like. You have pink in your hair, I'm wearing pink in my face. So far, I don't really think it's worked, however, as Roxy has, again, she's dominated this contest. Surely this won't be the last we see of her in W3L, regardless of the end. Oh. And Leah Owens took Roxy by surprise, telling her to stop, and she did. And now she's getting flat with these clotheslines and a drop kick. Leah Owens just measuring her opponent. And lands the avalanche. And a bulldog as well. Drops her face first in for the cover. But Roxy not worn down enough as yet. And I'm sure that the women's champion Sarah is watching this match closely. I am pretty sure she's expecting Leah Owens to get a rematch at some point in the not too distant future. Leah Owens, she's taking her eyes off her opponent. It's a mistake here. But Leah Owens holding up the ropes. And a DDT. Little Miss Roxxy drops Leah Owens right in her head. That's got to end it, surely. And look at this, what an arrogant cover. Puts no weight across the shoulders whatsoever. Leah Owens just casually puts her foot on the ropes. Slightly better cover this time, but Owens with enough in her to kick out. And Little Miss Roxxy may have made a mistake. If she'd cradled her better after the DDT, she may have ended this match. As she rains fists down on Leah Owens. Owens trying to cover up. And Leon Brown having to pull Little Miss Roxxy off Leah Owens. She's not responding to his commands. And he is, I suppose, technically well within his rights to do that kind of thing. Look at her arguing with him. And she's taking her eye off Leah Owens, giving her a moment to recover as Owens picks her up. But Little Miss Roxxy slides out the back. Oh, and a slap to the face. And Leah's got her up. Hoists Little Miss Roxxy. And drops her down. Floats straight in the cover. And that seals the match for Leah Owens. So a big victory for the masked female star as she attempts to regain the Women's Championship.
Leah Owens scores a victory over the debuting Little Miss Roxxy. I'm sure we've not heard the last of her. And this will do Leah Owens' chances of gaining momentum as she heads towards what is doubtless an eventual rematch for the Women's Championship no harm whatsoever. Leah Owens will be determined to become a 3-time Women's Champion if at all she can. When will that take place? Will it take place? You can find out by making sure you are pointed to our website, W3LWrestling.com. While you're there, pick up tickets for our live event coming up on December the 28th in Petticoat Bay Holiday Park in Kinghorn Fife. Perhaps Leah Owens will try and get her championship rematch there. Will it happen? You'll find it in the weeks to come. But make sure you get your tickets for Petticoat Bay before they're all gone. It's a Wednesday night event. Yeah, Wednesday night. It's not normal that we run on that day, but again, it's that weird week between Christmas and New Year. You're not doing anything else, so come out and see some fantastic wrestling on Wednesday night, December 28th in Petticoat Bay. When you're getting your tickets on our website, make sure you've also liked us on Facebook. You can confirm your attendance on the events page there. Give us a follow on Twitter and find out all the latest happenings on W3L as they occur. Of course, if you're talking about this episode or any of our shows here on the network, use the hashtag W3L Wrestling Showdown. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you'll never miss an episode, because you'll be back here in a mere 7 days with even more Wrestling Showdown.